It's been less than 6 months since ChatGPT came out, but it's already changing so many things. One of the defining features of ChatGPT is it remembers context. Unlike a singular Google search, you get personalized answers in a conversational format. But this context is limited to a single conversation, so we learn to extend it with vector embeddings. With vector embeddings, you can store entire texts like a company's documents or the Bible, and tune ChatGPT or other large language models, LLMs for short, to that data source. Companies like Supabase already do this with their documentation with good results. But even then, ChatGPT is limited to just the data and prompts it's given. How do you extend ChatGPT with other services like online search for current events or other apps like Zapier? One option is to use the plugins that OpenAI recently released, but it's not open source. So how do you extend an LLM and combine all these components together as a developer? And that's where LangChain comes in, a framework for building LLM-powered apps. With LangChain, these concepts are abstracted and interchangeable as components. You can swap in and out different LLMs, utilities for memory and prompts, and then chain multiple calls together. It even supports the idea of agents, allowing you to go from a predetermined chain of calls to a dynamic and iterative chain that loops itself to complete a specified task, kind of like a personal assistant. It's actually really simple to get started. Let me show you a basic example using LangChain to create an agent with the ability to search the web. First, we initialize our SvelteKit project, add Tailwind CSS for easy styles, and install LangChain. Then we build an API endpoint in our app where we can call it when we click a button. Then add some boilerplate for a simple form. Then we add our agent. Notice the agent is initialized with a set of tools, one being SERP API, a tool that allows for web searching. We can get a free API key from this site. Then we add some spinny loaders and integrate the agent's response into the UI. And finally, we add a console callback to the agent so we can track what it's actually doing. Now with this input, I can type in anything and it will call our endpoint, which will use LangChain to initialize an agent, equip it with our search tool and LLM, and do our bidding. How about we check the weather in Toronto? And look at that, our agent searched the web for the weather and came back with the answer. But we could have just used Google search for that, right? What's the big deal? Let's see what's going on underneath the hood, what our agent is actually doing. It's creating tasks, prioritizing them, and then executing them. It may be slow and illogical at times, but it's autonomously executing your task. Let's try another task, like getting the Leafs score from last night. We input the question, and watch the agent work its magic. It feeds itself prompts and creates thoughts, actions, and observations from it, uses its given tools to execute the actions, and then it repeats this process until an answer is found. It's LLMs all the way down. This is just a simple example of what you can do with LangChain and AI agents. The technology is still quite new and it can easily get caught up overthinking in never-ending loops and rack up OpenAI charges, so try to keep the requests simple.